This is a summary of my ride from Grig to Jeli across the Banjaran Titiwangsa. I kind of knew that it was going to be a difficult ride, and the thing that weighed heavy on my mind was, will I be able to get all the way to Jeli, 140 kilometers away, with that two big mountains. The first mountain is from Grig to Pulau Banting, which is almost at the, actually it's at the 1/3 way. And then the next one, which is an even bigger mountain, is from Pulau Banting to Jeli. Well, I started at 6 AM when it was still dark, and then cycled, and then got scared because of the wild animals that could come out, since that place is famous for wild animals. And the yellow Volkswagen, no lah, not the yellow Volkswagen, I didn't even see a single Volkswagen. Oh no, wait, I did see a group of Volkswagens. Your convoy. Anyway, I got to I covered the first mountain, had a rest, and then made my way up the second mountain. The batteries were depleted like crazy. I cycled as much as I could because I was also afraid that I would deplete the batteries and I wouldn't be able to cover the mountains, but I managed to cover both mountains with two batteries. So I had a spare, remember? Because Voltron had given me a spare on top of my spare. I was supposed to only cycle with two, and then because that one of the batteries conked out in typing, so the boss of Voltron very kindly gave me two more batteries to replace the one battery. So I've got three. So at the top of Banjaran Titiwangsa, at the highest peak, there is a restaurant. There's only one. Actually, I saw that there were a few, but only one was operating. I'm not sure what happened to the rest. Then I had my light lunch there, and decided that I should book my hotel in Jeli because there was line. I read one network worked up there, so I browsed the hotel apps and found a special offer. Instead of 70 ringgit per room, it was only 44 ringgit. So I quickly booked it, and it required that I pay for the room immediately. Well, guess what? Because my phone is connected to U-Mobile, so when it sent an confirmation SMS for the payment, I could not receive the SMS. In fact, there was no network for U-Mobile, so I really couldn't do anything. So what I had to do was, I had to cycle down towards Jeli, and when I was something like 20 kilometers away, around there, that means that I was about an hour away. Usually when I'm tired, it takes a longer time to cycle the 20 kilometers. The last, especially when it's at the end of the ride lah, you're already all spent and tired. So I fired up the U-Mobile to try and pay, but unfortunately, in that few hours that I took to cycle down, that special offer was gone. All the rooms. Is that a ghost? Oh, can't see it. Can you see it behind me? and there were no more double rooms. So I had to book a triple room, and a triple room cost not to say expensive lah, but what the heck? I thought I charged up my earpiece. Oh boy, never mind. Yeah, it cost me 77 ringgit and 50 cents for a triple room. So there I was, one person occupying this huge room. There was no hot water, but I really couldn't care because I was already wet from the rain, from the drizzle. So I just showered lah, don't care lah. And then I actually fell asleep. But I don't know why, but my mind was occupied with a lot of things. I don't know what my mind was thinking about. Not about the ride, not about anything, but it was just occupied. So I had a 20-minute nap, and then I went out to look for some dinner. And dinner was only like half a kilometer away, thereabouts, or 1 kilometer away. There was the Jeli Pekan already. So I cycled out, and it started to drizzle, and I thought, well, that's okay. I've experienced the drizzles before, and in any case, I have my raincoat in my backpack, so I didn't really care. So I just cycled on until it got really heavy, to a point where I needed to put on the raincoat. So I stopped to put on my raincoat, and would you believe it? The raincoat was back in the hotel room. I had actually taken it out to dry. So I quickly doubled back to the hotel and cycled as fast as I could because I didn't want to get wet, because I had already washed my clothes from the day's ride, and I was wearing this set, and I didn't want wet clothes, you know. So I had to cycle all the way back in the rain. It rained all the way back to the hotel, so I was a bit wet. Luckily for me, that particular hotel room had a big ceiling fan, so I just put everything under the ceiling fan to dry, and it did dry next morning. If you're thinking of cycling the Gerik Jeli route, I think you have to bring your tent, because somewhere you have to camp. Unless you're a very strong rider, cyclist, then I think you can make it across, because I saw a group of cyclists, and I think that they were training, because behind them was a van that had 2 bicycles on top. So I think that they were training for some. They're probably, you know, I don't know which group they were from lah, but they had a van following them, and I met them on the way down the last mountain. They were on their way up, and I think that who knows, maybe they were only going to the top of the mountain before they double back. I don't think they will go all the way to Greek. But I suppose now that I've covered the Banjaran Titiwangsa, I suppose I can say that, hey, I also cycled the Banjaran Titiwangsa, albeit on a Voltron e-bike.